Hey everyone, Sirturmund here again. And just like yesterday when we saw Feel the Rush has been making a great comeback, so has Gangplank Sejuani. If you're looking, again, like the videos that you're going to see this week, a lot of them are going to be kind of more focused on competitive side because we are going to have the seasonals coming up soon. If you are looking to play in the seasonal or, regardless whether you want to play this deck, you have to prepare to either play it or beat this deck because this deck is another one that has been making a lot of waves and it's going to be showing up all over the seasonal, and for good reason, because this deck match table is really even. It doesn't really have any like bad matchup. It doesn't also have any great matchups either, but it's very even. It lets you kind of outscale your opponent. So I think it's one of the most popular decks that a lot of players are practicing these days, and it comes back, right? No matter how many times you think that GP Sejuani is out of the meta, it always finds a way to come back, and here it is again, just in time for the seasonals. Just like always, the whole idea with Gangplank Sejuani is that you're able to do a lot of damage early on. Just try to damage the opponent's Nexus, while also getting rid of the units between Make It Rain and Parley, or just pushing damage to like the Butcher, Shell Shockers, Mirai Warden, and Tell Speaker, etc. Just push all that damage early on so that then you can level up your champions and finish up the game with your champions. Either you just clear their board with Gangplank and percent lethal, or you're able to lock them down with Sejuani if you're going against like a, I don't know, like a deck that relies on their units getting really big, right? So either way, your champions end up being really important. The new addition to this deck compared to the last time that I showcased it is the addition of a Spirits Unleashed. Spirits Unleashed is really, really good because obviously it deals one to the enemy Nexus, which levels of your champions, but it also buffs all your units by +1/+1, which now makes your Mirai Warden be a really big threat because she just summons 2 units that are gonna be at least 3 power in, unless you're like really low roll, but it's always gonna be like 3 power or 4 power that you're gonna be pushing with Mirai Warden. It also just makes your overwhelms even more threatening. It even makes your powder kegs have 2 health, which is actually really nice because it puts them out of range of like a Pokestick or a Battle Feast, so you never have to play around the opponent like having one of those spells to get rid of your powder keg and you're presenting a lot of damage. It's so good. Spiritual Lich is so good in this deck, to be honest. But yeah, aside from that, it's like as straightforward as it gets. Notice that because we're now playing a lot more failure cards like Tough Speaker, we can play the Björk, we're playing the Spiritual Lich and Sejuani, that we're no longer playing the 4-drop that gets us a 1-shot. That is why we're on triple Parley, triple 1-shot, and triple Make It Rain. And between that and also with the Spiritual Niche, I think we're in a good spot. We also get access to a lot of draw with the Iron Akaboros and the Sap. So I think, again, we're in a really good position to kind of not run out of value and get at least one of our champions in every single game. What I really like about this deck is that you're able to go like a really wide board with the Mirai Warden, meaning that you're able to survive against the aggression from like a Lulu Jinx, etc. The problem is that we don't have the spells to actually kill Lulu, to actually kill the Jinx as soon as she comes down. You're going to have to be relying on your Sejuani to be able to pull the Jinx and kill her that way. But aside from that, every other matchup feels really, really winnable because of the amount of pressure that you can put in. But anyways, GP Sejuani, again, like always, hope you enjoy the games coming up soon. And if you do, make sure to like the video below and subscribe to us. We post LR videos every single day. I'll see you at the end of the video for some mulligan tips. In this match, we're going to get Twisted Fate, Katarina, and Annie. So it's going to be like a tie bulk deck. This warning shot is not bad. I don't mind stealing cards and getting the Black Market Merchant enabled. The Parley doesn't really hit a lot of things in their deck. So I think the Parley is the incorrect one. I like the Sap. I like the Sap to give me some draw. We draw the Parley back anyways. We have a different Parley that we just drew. The Sap gets me some more draw and gets me some more cheap stuff. Now we can just go Butcher then, right? This is even better. So now we have Butcher, we get to hit at turn 1, we get to hit at turn 2 because the opponent has nothing that can deal with 3 damage, with 3 health here, which then enables our Black Market Merchant. I guess they could have Blaze Edge plus Disintegrate, but that seems like a really weird time to use it. So I don't think opponent ever goes for that. I think we definitely just go for the Black Market Merchant right now. See what we get. Run the wheel, Blaze Edge. It's actually not bad because we can kill like a Annie now, or we can kill a Katarina with Blaze Edge plus Parley. So this lets me deal with Katarina, right? Because we can play both of them on the stack at the same time because this is a fast and this is a slow speed spell. while also dealing damage to the Nexus at the same time because the parley goes last. So like if the opponent plays Katarina here, we're fine. Just make it rain, huh? Huh. I think I'm fine with this, right? We just go Aina Boros here. We have 3 units. Opponent's probably gonna have a Twisted Fate. We attack with everything with 3 out of 5. Make it rain again. Wow, they hit. I guess it's fine because if they hit this one, it means that a Twisted Fate clears my whole board. So it's the same thing. Now even if the opponent goes Twisted Fate, at least they're not clearing the Tentacle. Sap. Okay. I don't think I can play the Shell Shocker because I think I should still play around that Twisted Fate. We could play Gangplank. I'm not opposed to it. Or we could just pass. The reason that I'm scared of the Gangplank is because a Twisted Fate means that the opponent will be able to just put damage on my Gangplank and they have a Flock enable, right? So I wanted to Twisted Fate first. Opponent decides not to go for it. The problem here is that if we open attack, there's a chance that this open attack doesn't go through, right? Opponent could easily have a Flock or something else here. Or they could just sacrifice their sap, which if they sacrifice their sap, I'm also okay with that. I shouldn't be giving them this much time. But they kind of telegraphing, right? They're kind of telegraphing a Twisted Fate. Now, the fleeting card is this one. They have to use it now. Otherwise, they just lose it. What's your play? I wish I had Experience Unleashed, by the way. Experience Unleashed will make our units out of range of like random stuff. That would have been so much better. So we can go like this, and this gets a Nexus trigger that we were talking about. Because the Blaze Edge goes first, the Parley goes second. I guess opponent could kill their own unit, and I'm okay with that.
It's just a nick.
I think I'm fine with that. Alright, so they lost a Disintegrate. They lost a Disintegrate, that's why I decided not to play any other unit. Cool, let's go Touch Speaker. That gets me to 4 out of 5. They're still really far away from this Conservatory that I'm not too concerned about it. I think we play the first Gangplank now. I think we play the first Gangplank now and have the opponent play for their Twisted Fate right now if they have it. So Twisted Fate into like Flock. No need for me to play this Gangplank Parley because we already enabled it with the Touch Speaker last time. Losing a Disintegrate is huge because it makes it easier for me to be comfortable playing the Sejuani or anything like that. It has to be a Twisted Fate, right? It doesn't make any sense otherwise. I definitely don't want to put any free damage on my DP if I can help it.
You've concerns, do you?
Oh, okay, so it's Sentry Flock. So if it's Sentry Flock, that's even better for us. If it's literally just Sentry Flock, that's even better for us, in my opinion. Alright. Now, we could go Sejuani here.
You are cute, and I want
The problem with Sejuani, because the thing with Sejuani is that we know we can get through with either one of the Overwhelm units, so we know we'll be able to get leveled up the units. My only concern with the Sejuani here... Okay, so the opponent had to go Sentry Flock last turn. Sentry Flock last turn... Would it have been better for them to do Twisted Fate plus Flock if they had it? I think so, right? Okay, so this is telling me that the opponent has access to
Strong as waves.
okay, so this is the problem. So this is telling me that the opponent has access to like a way to actually kill the Sejuani, like a Twisted Fate. If they have like a Twisted Fate or something like that, I think it's fine to just go like this. If the opponent has a Death Hand, they do slow us down, but like Death Hand is another card from their hand that they have to use. I think I'm fine going like this. This is their second Disintegrate. We're just trying to set it up so that the GP is leveled up next turn and we can play the GP and then win the game from there. They could also have enough to go for, like, I have to also be scared of the Riptide Rats, right? So they have to keep a spell that they can use here to kill Sejuani. So we know they have to use a card from their hand. Whether it's Twisted Fate, Death Hand, Blaze Edge, anything. The worst scenario is if the second Katarina. If it's the second Katarina, I'm in a bad spot. This is their second Disintegrate as well, because we saw them discard the first one when they did the Pool Shark. Most of these lists are only on 2 Disintegrates, because 3 ends up being a little bit too clunky. So I'm gonna pretend that I'm safe against another Disintegrate for the rest of the game. If this damage goes through, we get to level up our GP, which is what we're looking for. Let them kill our Sejuani if they want to. I shouldn't play the Mirai Warden until after the opponent commits for the Twisted Fate right here. And they Iron Akabor, so they have to actually dig? They're actually digging for a way to kill my Sejuani. And there's a Twisted Fate. Like I said, we knew that Twisted Fate was coming. Now, the unfortunate part here is that we don't have enough blockers to stop. And we definitely don't have enough blockers now. We don't have enough blockers to stop a Riptide Rats. So the Riptide Rats will get us no matter what. Yeah, we certainly don't have enough blockers now. That's rough. If the opponent gives us the chance, we can Spirits Unleash and get rid of 2 of their units. And then we can play the Shell Shockers and then the Gangplank. Riptide Rats is the scariest part here. But if they're playing Riptide Rats before the Conservatory is enabled, that's also fine with me. Oh, heck no. I'm just taking this now then. I'm absolutely just taking this now. Just clearing your board, forcing you to have to do something. I like forcing the opponent to have to do something, right? Sure. We play Shell Shocker. Play second Shell Shocker. We can even, instead of, because the opponent is playing like if they have a way to stop the Gangplank, right? So they're kind of saving their cards so that they can actually stop the Gangplank. I mean, the Gangplank is going to be a 6 HP. So Flock is not enough anymore. I'm just gonna continue going wide. There's a chance that I draw Make It Rain from here. So if the opponent does nothing else right now, I think I go Sap instead of going for the GP. Because there's a chance that I draw a Make It Rain or a Parley, which lets me get rid of another blocker and creates another open attack scenario. I think Sap is better now regardless, by the way. And there's the Parley, so now we can kill one of their blockers and create for a much better attack. Okay, so there's one punish for GP. The one punish for the GP is gonna be the Sentry. I'm gonna pretend that the opponent doesn't have Sentry. I'm gonna pretend that the opponent doesn't have Sentry here. If the opponent sentries the GP, I can also play the second Sap, and that's gonna be 6 elusive damage guarantee. We get rid of the... and there we go. There we go. Yeah. Opponent, I think, was obviously blocking us, right? They ended up having the Mirais in their hand and the Conservatory, so they were blocking us and making us stop from developing. But we had enough value with the Shell Shockers that we were able to just develop anyways and kind of go from there. In this matchup, we're going against Leona Aphelios. It's good for us, by the way, because in this matchup, opponent has a much harder time. I'm going to get rid of the Saps. Opponent has a doesn't really have keywords, right? So because they don't have keywords, they have a hard time actually pushing damage through. Now, there's a consideration here. We could go for the Butcher. I think we have to just go for the Butcher, right? And force the opponent to have their 1-drop. If they don't have the 1-drop, they just take 3 damage. Yeah, I think we just go for the Butcher. It lets us advance our champions. If they don't have the 1-drop, they're just taking 3 damage. And they do have the 1-drop, which is fine. We pass, because we don't need to attack. We already got our hit through anyways. This is a really awkward hand, though. Which is the problem. Yeah, this is a really awkward hand. Who befits by this, though? I think I attack with both. Even if the opponent sacrifices this one, I think that's fine. I just want to make sure that I get the hit through. Okay, we have a lot of draw now, so I'm not scared of my hand anymore. Yeah, we have enough draw that I'm scared. I'm fine to stabilize. And we are already 3 out of 5 of the way through the Sejuani and the GP. Now, the opponent is playing Aphelios, so this is probably a more control. Wow, yeah, that's enough draw to save the game, like, every single day. Now what? I'm gonna block the Sun Garden with the Pale Cascade. Yeah, cool. So now we still keep our unit. The opponent could have their own Pale Cascade in response, but then we can just parley. So now we just parley, and still get the Sun Garden out of the way. We could also just unleash energy instead next time, but I think the parley is nice because obviously it gets us progress in here. I kind of do, I kind of don't. I kind of do, I kind of don't. I kind of want to do the Spirits Unleash, I kind of don't. I think I'm going to go Tough Speaker first. That lets us level up our GP and set up for like a future turn. We have enough blockers that I'm not scared of the opponent's attack. Now, the opponent could have like Leona here, which is a problem. We do want to be able to play GP this turn. Which means that it's a little bit awkward because we don't have enough mana for GP plus any of my other spells. We could go the Babbling Bird. I think that's a mistake. I think I'm just going to Spirit Unleash into Babbling Bird now. Before the opponent can buff this up even more. So before the opponent can buff the Sun Garden even more, I'm just going to take it now. Opponent has the mana for like a Vengeance or the Obliterate card, right? That's what they're going for. No, it's going to be Trifecta, okay. So either way, opponent just wanted to get some value. This is fine though. This gets me... I guess it could get me the 3rd GP, and the 3rd GP will be kind of awkward. Okay, so it wasn't the 3rd GP at least. Question here is, do we start with the Gangplank? Or do we start with the Sejuani? I think we always start with the Gangplank. Because we have a second one. I'm not scared of the opponent presenting lethal yet, so I don't think Sejuani is necessary. I think we bait out the removal, right? So the opponent probably has Obliterate from the Trifecta, has Vengeance, could have the other target spell as well. So they do have some outs here. But they have to deal with the CP. Could have the Leona stun too. And that's the Vengeance, right? So just like we expected. I'm fine attacking right now because if the opponent takes this, I think I'm just gonna parley it. I think I'm gonna parley it right now. And the reason I like the parley right now is because that way the opponent doesn't have Raboon and doesn't get the Daybreak value. Battle Piece doesn't stop this now because it's 2 HP. So, seems pretty good to me. Now, the opponent just committed the first Vengeance. We have a second GP on the hand. Okay, so that's one of the things that they drew. So they didn't go for the stun. So that's good to know. So there's no stun available. I think I still prefer the GP. I think I still prefer the GP because again, I'm not scared. Opponent's on 8 mana. Okay, so that means it's not Fallen Comet. Opponent went down to 4 mana. 4 mana means that I don't need to worry about this. I don't even care if the opponent kills the Powder Keg. I don't think I actually play the Make It Rain. Because I think the Make It Rain is going to be necessary. I guess we could Make It Rain and that gets rid of... I guess we could Make It Rain and that gets rid of the Messenger. We are gonna draw, because I feel like I want to keep the Make It Rain for Sejuani to actually enable her freeze. At the same time, though, we have so much value here that I don't think it's necessary. Opponent has to attack the powder keg, otherwise they just give me more powder kegs. I think this Make It Rain is even better now that the opponent has Aphelios on the field. Ooh. I guess if I block with GP,
Trying won't do any good.
I guess if I block with GP, I'm in trouble, right? So this Aphelios is gonna die anyways. We get to kill both their units. We get to push a guaranteed 2 damage with Gangplank. This is not vulnerable to like a potential, let's say, quote-unquote, Make It Rain. I think we just go for the Anakaboros neck. Not a Make It Rain, sorry, a double battle piece, right? But it's still guaranteed 2 damage here from the GP. Because we're gonna just open attack and we get another GP, so it's 9 damage. If the opponent has no way to deal with GP, if they don't have the double battle piece, they have to use another vengeance. Wow. And they still lose their Aphelios. They have to do another vengeance and they still lose their Aphelios. Again, I don't think Sejuani is correct just yet. I guess we can just play Gangplank again. Because next time we have enough. Yeah, I guess we can play Gangplank again. That's the third one, right? Gives us access to a very big Make It Rain. Sap has a good chance of drawing warning shots because this is already our second Make It Rain. I guess we also used 2 warning shots earlier. And we did already use the parleys as well. So we don't have a lot of cheap spells in our deck anymore. Let's do Shell Shocker now. That way we can play Sap and Sejuani next turn back to back. This Make It Rain is dealing 3 damage because he's gonna get another powder keg. Spirits Unleash again. And the Sejuani, and we win the game. And this is what we were saving Sejuani for, right? So we were saving Sejuani exactly for this. There was no reason for us to rush her. And opponent has no way to actually present lethal. They were hoping that we didn't have a Sejuani in our hand, but as you all know, we were holding on to the Sejuani pretty much since the start of the game. Just so happened that we also ended up with like triple GP at the same time. Now, I want to keep this Make It Rain in my hand. Because I need a way to stop an atrocity, right? So we keep this Make It Rain to stop an atrocity. We ended up drawing the warning shot anyways. Opponent should know that this should be game now. Gravitum? Doesn't matter, right? Because if you have the atrocity, you have it. Otherwise, you still get frozen by the GP skill. So you still get frozen by the GP skill, and we go from there. Has to be atrocity, and he loses to warning shot or Make It Rain. Let's show him that we had to Make It Rain the whole time in this game. It's a good attempt. Right? If we don't have Sejuani, opponent automatically wins, right? Because even if we have the Sap as a blocker, opponent had the Graviton from Aphelios, so they get rid of the elusive blocker. And then even if we're able to block, they have the atrocity. So if we don't have Sejuani, they win the game. But that's the power of this deck. They always got their champion. So GG's. In this matchup, we're going against Leona Diana. So I think we are not in a bad spot. All things considered, we have the Sejuani. I might develop this Jagged Butcher right away if the opponent does have a 1-drop. If they do have a 1-drop, they do. Then it's probably not correct to do this. I think it's fine to just take the 3. I think we're gonna have to play it very slow, which is not ideal, but it's also not impossible for us to deal with. Okay, opponent gave me the trigger now, so that makes me feel like I can go ahead and do this. Now, we have exactly 5 mana next turn. I think I want to play the Spirits Unleash. I'd rather play the Spirits Unleash next turn. That's annoying. That is a little bit annoying, though. That's going to be 6 damage. I'm going to take it. I'm going to go down to 10. I'm going to take it and go down to 10. I want to try to level up my champions, because if I get Sejuani level up, I can shut them down with the freeze as the game goes on. Obviously, the problem is going to be actually shutting them down, and also we don't get a hit here, right? So we don't get any hit right here. Diana, they finally get Diana as well. I guess I can force them. I can force them to block, because all of these guys are 3 health. So I can force them to block here. I think we attack with everything, because this one gets in and up at Diana. If you want to block here with Pell Cascade, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. We still keep the Butcher. We do delay our Sejuani and our GP by a turn. But we also keep the board clear, which means that I'm no longer scared of just dying to their aggression, right? Because they no longer have the board to go for the Wanding Light. So I think I'm fine taking that. We pass. We play Gangplank. We have Parley. Cool.
Neither the flames nor the depths can claim me.
I think I'd rather play the Parley out right now. Right? Let's force him to have access to another Pell Cascade. They have it. And that's actually so bad, because now... Well, no, it's still not enough, right? It's so bad because he does delay us another turn. It's not enough for them to kill the GP, so that's okay. And we can still play the Sejuani next turn. You get to kill the Butcher for free, but we're gonna just take your Diana out. He might go for the GP and know that they can just go for... So they have a Make It Rain then, right? So that's telling me, hey, I have a Make It Rain. Our Sejuani is really slowed down. Which is a problem. Not a Make It Rain, sorry. They have a Parley. So they have a Parley, a Battle Feast. I'm gonna still go like this to guarantee that we hit the overwhelm. Because if we open attack and the opponent has a Battle Feast, they kill the GP, and then they block the Butcher for free, right? The problem here is that if they have Leona, it's gonna be the same thing. I think we just take it like this. Yeah, okay, Unspeakable Horror, that also works. As long as we have Sejuani, I think we're okay, but we still need to find like warning shots and other stuff that can let me level up Sejuani. Or we can go, we can get for Iron Akaboros, that will help us out a lot. Because I really don't want to play this Make It Rain and then don't have any other way to actually get Sejuani enabled.
Embrace the night.
Okay. That is a problem. Opponent can kill Sejuani now, because this is going to go up to 7. So the opponent will be able to kill Sejuani if they have another Nightfall card. So if the opponent has one more Nightfall card, which they do, why go Cloven Way? Why stun the Sejuani when you're going to pull her anyways? Yeah, if you're gonna pull her anyways, that stun makes no sense. So now we're in a really bad spot. We either hit face or we hit both their units. We hit both their units so the American doesn't get to do anything. We're in a really bad spot because the triple Diana just completely screwed us over. The Sap is a really good draw. Sap is a really good draw. The problem is Diana. If the opponent has more Nightfall cards, it's going to be a problem. If the opponent has more Nightfall cards, it's going to be a problem. We need one of our champions. I have to be careful about this damage here. So I have to be careful about this damage here, because the opponent has the Wanding Light. That overwhelm damage could be enough to kill us. They still have enough to do the Wanding Light because they have the Dust Petal. Okay, so they're just gonna kill my Sap then. They're just gonna go kill my Sap. Man, the triple Diana. I mean, I guess it's not Leona, so I can't complain too much. Really? Yeah, just kill the elusive. I don't know what they're thinking about. I have to open. We have to hope that we get GP. We have to know that we get GP or that we get Sejuani. This helps because I can get either or as well. And there she is. And we should be okay now. We have Warning Shot, we have Make It Rain in our hand, and we have a level of Sejuani. I guess the opponent could have access to Vengeance, so they could have access to the Sunbless. To the discard one. Yeah, that's okay with me because we still get to pull with the Overwhelm. So we still get to pull with the Overwhelm here, allow me to push damage everywhere else, and your units to be frozen. I think we might be able to stabilize here. Okay, you get to kill this. I'm still fine with this because the Overwhelm still goes through. Oh, okay, so the fact that they're keeping the units tells me two things. This is a Winding Light. It is going to be a Winding Light, but the opponent has to find a way to silence my Sejuani first. It's not a Winding Light, it's just a Leona. Okay, so the silence doesn't scare me. Like if the opponent has access to the silence, it's not a big deal because they don't have enough value to kill us. They don't have the Overwhelm keywords, and we have plenty of blockers. We have plenty of blockers, so I'm not scared of the silence here. Triple Unspeakable Horror. We got to the Dianas. Oh, okay, so now we lose. Okay, so the opponent really did triple Unto Dusk. Sorry, no Unspeakable Horror. The opponent really did triple Unto Dusk. So we're fine. Opponent decides not to do anything. So we attack. Four. And there we go, that's Lito. I did it in the stack to play around a second Doom Beast, by the way. So the reason I did everything on the stack is to play around a second Doom Beast. I had a chance of either hitting the Nexus or hitting the Leona. Either one would have pushed one more damage, which is what we needed to be able to win the game. Right? So GG's. In this matchup, we're going against Lulu Jinx. Now, while this matchup can be a little bit awkward, we do have a lot of early units, and we get the Mirai Warden, which is amazing, to actually put a lot of pressure into the opponent. I'm going to kick the Misfortune. I like this hand better, right? I like the fact that we have access to Make It Rain and Parley. Makes us feel a little bit better. Oh wow, opponent even gives us the Parley value. Thank you. I don't know about doing that. I don't know if I agree with the opponent doing that. So now we get the Parley value, which obviously lets us level up our champion just for free like that. We can play Mirai Warden here. The Squeaker doesn't do much for them. They have Make It Rain and Spirits Unleashed to clear their board. Yeah, the Squeaker doesn't do much for you, because no matter what, you're gonna get hit by one of these two. And we just open attack and then play Butcher. We open attack. If the opponent blocks with both, I'm good with that too, because that means that they're trading both their units. Now there is a chance that the opponent could play Pokey here. Ah, there we go. It's not a Pokey stick. Here's the question though. Is it actually Butcher?
There's nothing a good giggle can't fix.
Is it actually Butcher, or do we just set up for the Spirits Unleash? I kind of like just setting up for the Spirits Unleash, to be honest. I'm going to play this now as well. I'm going to go for the Tiny Spear because of the Overwhelm damage. I think I prefer the Spirits Unleash next turn. I would love to play the Shell Shocker first now. Yeah, I think I'm going to... I guess if I go Spirits Unleash first, I would have killed their unit and also made it so the Lulu cannot attack, right? Okay, opponent ended up getting greedy anyways. So now the opponent cannot really attack with the Lulu, because if they attack with the Lulu, she's getting blocked. We block everywhere else. I'm okay taking the trade with the Lulu, even if the Chomper stays alive, because we're also taking the trade with the Bouncing Ball. Ah, unfortunately, opponent waited until my Spirits Unleash came out. I'm still trading with the Lulu, if you go like this. I'm not trading with those two, because what I'm going to do is that I'm just going to open with the Make It Rain. Actually, let's go like this. Let's go like this. That way we open with the Make It Rain and guarantee that we hit the Nexus. And then we can play the Butcher, who's gonna be a 4. We get to kill the Chompers and stuff. The only problem is gonna be Jinx, right? So the only problem here is gonna be the Jinx. We take less damage that way. We play Make It Rain. We go here. We play Butcher. Their board's completely clear. If they have Jinx, that's gonna be risky. But the opponent can play Jinx, and they wouldn't have enough. I guess they could have Poro Cannon, but this, yeah, they could have Poro Cannon, and the Poro Cannon does let them level up the Jinx, right? While still getting the rocket. And there we go. But they had to use a Get Excited to get there. And we're still gonna push 4 damage. We're still gonna push 4 damage on top of it. Huh. So we still get to push 4 damage here. Opponent does get to push another 4. If they have the units, actually, to be able to play that out. We could just go Spirits Unleash again.
I don't wanna.
Say your farewells.
I think I'm chilling then, right? If opponent wants to play the Poros, that's okay. I'm just gonna Sejuani. I'm gonna just try to do Spirits Unleash once the opponent plays both Poros out. Gotta make him think that I don't have anything in my hand that's gonna be worth it. I kind of want him to play more stuff. You know what? I think we Spirits Unleash right now. This makes our Sejuani bigger as well. We get rid of all the elusers. Sejuani's leveled up now, so she's gonna be at 8. 8 minus 3 is 5. Plus another 1 is gonna be 6. 7. We're gonna be 3 off. Okay, so now we're only 2 off. We're 2 off from lethal. I think we have to just kill the Jinx though. We have the warning shot, so I'm not scared of whatever unit the opponent draws here. Opponent has to play the Mecha Yoro plus whatever other unit they get at the same time. We have plenty of blockers. Get Excited, Plucky Stick plus Rocket finishes the game, but they have a Mecha Yoro, so it has to be like Mystic plus Get Excited. Or Pokestick plus Get Excited that they just top deck, right? So they would have needed to top deck exactly what they need. This is 5. I think it's worth it to go for the Tiny Spear. Yeah, I think it's worth it to go for the Tiny Spear. Just start making our Sejuani bigger and bigger. As long as we keep this one shot in our hand, we should be okay. The concern here is gonna be a second Jinx, and I wait for the opponent to clear their hand. And they have the second Jinx anyways. Wow. So they actually did get to Get Excited. Mind you, they discarded another Get Excited earlier. Yeah, they actually got to Get Excited. Wow. Come on. Really? That's game then, right? Double Jinx, double Get Excited, because they discarded one earlier. I mean, sometimes the opponent gets it. I think we did what we had to do, right? We did what we could here. Gets the Poro Cannon again. There's nothing here that saves me. Yeah, there's nothing here that saves me. A little bit unfortunate. That hurts. Because they even picked like a kind of expensive Mecha Yoro. So if they didn't get a way to discard that Mecha Yoro, they would have been in a lot of trouble. So GG's. In this match, we're going against Mono Twisted Fate. I will assume... I actually cannot assume whether it's aggro. It could be aggro or could be like a slight control. Like if you're control, why not play Swain or Katarina or even Annie? If you're aggro, why not play Misfortune? So I'm kind of having a hard time deciding which one the opponent is playing. In which case, I like the Spirits Unleash and I like the Make It Rain. I think this gives us the safest, right? And obviously the Market Merkin as well. That way we can steal. We have the Make It Rain for an aggro. Spirits Unleash also kind of clear their board. Which version of Twisted Fate are you giving us, opponent? It's really odd. I'm gonna go now. I'm gonna go now. I was thinking if I wanted to save the mana for Spirits Unleashed, but I wanna see what they have. Is this just like turbo level Twisted Fate? Is that all there is? If it's literally just like turbo level Twisted Fate, then I don't know how I feel about this. Huh. I think we can make it rain. That enables the hit on the Nexus, and then next and Spirits Unleashed kills the Spiderling. Right? So Spirits Unleashed will kill the spider. Okay, so it is a control. So it is a control. Double Conservatory. We do have GP. We have the Gangplank, so that's pretty nice. We can go here. That does damage this, and now this is vulnerable to a flock. And we also don't have any other way to enable the level up on the next turn. But we are going to put a lot of pressure here. I guess opponent could have Flock and Iron Akaboros, right? So if they have the Flock, they can kill both my units. If they have the Flock, I think I have to be willing to just take it right now. I could go Pool Shark right here. It seems risky in case I get a Sejuani. I don't know that I want to play the Pool Shark just yet. Okay, so that tells us no Flock, right? So that tells us no Flock. We just push 3 damage. I don't want to play the Pool Shark just yet. I think we go Yerk and then go Pool Shark after. We can also just go GP here instead.
Hello, new best friend.
But I think I like the Babbling Yerk. It's a really big... It gives us a really big unit. Now we can go Pool Shark, in my opinion. And go from here. Warning Shot? Not ideal, but also not impossible to deal with. I'm gonna just slam the Sejuani right now. Save the GP for like another turn. Now we're forced to use this Warning Shot right now. Opponent could have the Twisted Fate here. And I'm okay with that.
I'm always up for a round or two.
Yeah, so they're gonna have Scorched Earth, they're gonna have like a million other things. A little bit unfortunate. I don't think we have to attack with this one. I think I forced the opponent not to take the favorable block here. They could have another red card. That might be what they're setting up for. Yeah, I'm okay with the Scorched Earth. We have a second Sejuani. I figured that the first Sejuani was gonna just die like that, which is fine. Because we want to set up more for GP than anything else. The Warning Shot ends up actually helping out because we didn't actually hit the Nexus this turn. So we get to play the GP now. We can play the Parley to get rid of their units while also leveling up the GP. Now we don't have to play the GP Parley. We can just do this Parley instead.
I rarely forget. I never forget.
This is forcing the opponent to have to kill this GP right now. Okay, so that's going to be... I'm gonna tell you what, that's gonna be a Twisted Fate that's gonna come down. So I'm just gonna take this hit right now. I guess there's a chance that if I go like this, that the opponent... I'm gonna go for the Nexus. The opponent has no healing. This is gonna be a Twisted Fate that's coming down to kill my GP. So I'm gonna take this hit now. Level up the GP while we can. This is gonna die to the Twisted Fate red card. The Shell Shocker is also gonna die, which means that we should actually just attack with this. I guess I could have played around the opponent having a second Twisted Fate. I didn't really think about it that much when I didn't attack with the Shell Shocker last turn. I think this is still fine. I don't mind blocking here. I don't mind blocking here because I don't think we can take that much damage because it's too easy for the opponent to have access to like... It's too easy for the opponent to have access to a lot of things. Now, this loses to a Sentry, right? Okay, well, I'm okay with that. This is still so much damage that we're dealing with the Overwhelm. The problem is going to be this guy. Now, this is lethal, so the opponent is forced to block with the Twisted Fate now.
Charmed, I'm sure.
We can play the Jagged Butcher. I'm worried about... So what I'm worried about is Riptide Rats, right? Okay. My second GP is about to die to like a Flock. And go here. There we go. Yeah, so the opponent can tie bulk now, and then into Riptide Rats. They can do 6 damage here. Oh, sorry, actually, just 5. And then they play the Riptide Rats, and we can in trouble. So we need to go the Mirai Warden, that way we have more units. That way it doesn't hit my Nexus. We have to hope that he also doesn't hit the GP. Perfect. And that should get us there. Opponent needs to have Make It Rain or Flock. This Sejuani could finish the game as well. This Sejuani could finish the game as well, right? Now, the opponent could have the answers to just kill us. Like Make It Rain and Blaze Edge. If they don't kill the GP, we win the game. Okay, they do have the heavy metal. I still think we win the game because this is gonna be more than damage than they can deal with. We can start with the Anakaboros. Because that's at 3. Like, this is presenting lethal without us having to commit the Fury of the North. So this is already presenting lethal, forcing the opponent to activate an answer here. Doesn't hit the face. Doesn't hit face, so we can go here and win the game here. I'm doing another Sejuani because this loses to like a Flock. We got lucky there. Opponent missed the 75% chance of hitting the face. They did have to Make It Rain and also had the Blaze Edge. So a little bit of a lucky game. Not as clean as I expected. I think we had to definitely play around the second Twisted Fate and just attack with the Shell Shocker. Because that 3 damage actually ended up mattering, right? That would have been lethal last turn if I had attacked with the Shell Shocker. So, GG's. Hey, welcome back everybody. Hope you enjoyed today's games. As you see, you know, the power of these champions cannot be underestimated. They just put so much value on the board, especially with their units and especially with Spirits Unleashed, just making your Mirai Warden stronger. You end up kind of turning into like a pseudo aggro deck with how much damage you can put in to then just kind of beat the opponent with like big overwhelm units. In terms of mulligan, you definitely want to start leveling up your champions as early as possible, right? So I'm looking for stuff like Jagged Butcher early on. The best combo that you can go for is Warning Shot plus Jagged Butcher. But Jagged Butcher early on can put a lot of pressure. Make It Rain if you think that the opponent has like a lot of 1-drops. Let's say like you're going against Lulu Jinx or Parley as well, similar way. Mirai Warden to allow you to go wide. Touch Speaker to allow you to hit the damage on the opponent's turn. So pretty much we're looking for early units, right? We're looking for the early units and our early spells and then be able to go from there. So pretty much if you see anything 2 mana or less in your hand, you can start keeping it. If you already have like 3 of them in your hand or even 2 of them and you think that you have a good enough early start, then that's when you can start considering keeping some of your champions. And Spirits Unleashed depends on the matchup whether you keep it or not. A lot of times I like keeping it because again, it enables a lot of our board, but it shouldn't come at the cost of you slowing down yourself too much, right? So let's say that you have a Jagged Butcher. If you have a Jagged Butcher, I don't mind keeping Spirits Unleashed because at least I have the Jagged Butcher to present the Nexus damage in turn 1 or turn 2 while still having the Spirits Unleashed to follow up after that, right? But then if you have like more like Make It Rain or Mirai Warden, then Spirits Unleashed becomes a worse keep because usually you want to play the Touch Speaker, the Mirai Warden, which gives you enough mana to play Spirits Unleashed in turn 3. So you're just going to keep that in mind. Although, there's a consideration that if you do have Mirai Warden and Spirits Unleashed, you can always use pass Spirits Unleashed and then set up for like an aggro attack. It's really going to be matchup dependent depending on who you're going against, whether you feel like Spirits Unleashed is worth it or not. But in general, just go for your early units and then draw for your champions and your late game stuff from there. That's enough for me for today. Hope you enjoyed today's games. If you did, make sure to like the video below and subscribe to us. We post LR videos every single day. You can also find us on Twitch at Sirturmund. We stream every now and then. And you can also find us on Discord and Twitter. The links to those are both in the description below. Thank you so much for watching and good luck to all those preparing for seasonals. I'll see you again tomorrow.